Because if you've been applying to job after job after job after job and you've been getting crickets and more crickets, it's time to try something a little different. Hey y'all, Tiffany from Pitch HR here, and I wanted to pop in and talk about some of the things I've been seeing going on with your resumes that's potentially holding you back from getting more interviews and landing new positions. And the things are pretty simple, but what's simple to me is not always simple to everyone else. It's because I do this, right? Like, I'm a 10-year HR professional. I've been looking at people's resumes even long before that. So I kind of eat, sleep, and breathe this information. But for you, it may be new. So here we go. One common thing I see people not doing, which I suggest doing, some resume writers think it's unnecessary, but I think you should include the title of the position you're applying for at the top of your resume. I'm not talking about like above your name, but underneath your name, your contact information, put the title of the position you're applying for, followed by your professional summary. The reason why I say to do that is because the job title itself, even if you haven't held it, is itself a key word to that applicant tracking system. The applicant tracking system is that tool that you go to apply online. You know, you go through ADP or Greenhouse or whatever system that company is using. That title, putting it at the top, number one, it lets the person who opens your resume know exactly what you're applying for. And also, it could be a keyword, like I just said. So it's twofold. You can swap that out. You can include multiple titles. Like, if you don't want to have to change it every single time, keep in mind and look at the companies you're applying for and look at what they call their roles. So for instance, I'm an HR professional, but every company doesn't call their team members human resources. Some of them call it people operations. The title used to be personnel, right? So you want to look at where you're applying for and make sure you're using things that align with that, so you don't seem outdated or you're just a mismatch because you're not calling yourself what they call their team members. So for me, I might have HR manager, HR director, people operations leader. I may put all three of those at the top just so I can capture multiple roles at the top of that resume. That's something I encourage all of you to do. Another thing you're not doing is you're not doing professional summaries. Remember I said put your name, contact information, professional summary. You need to have a brief summary. It can be 3 to 5 sentences. It doesn't have to be anything super elaborate. But if you don't have a professional summary, I need you to work on that. Get it up there, because when we open your resume, we see that very brief summary of what you've done, what you've contributed, accomplished, the industries you've worked in, and we're like, okay, we want to talk to this person. So if you're not doing it, you're missing out on an opportunity to highlight certain experience and include more keywords, to be honest. Because remember, most companies, it's not a person sitting there looking at your resume. That system is scanning, and the more keyword rich your resume is, the better your chances are. So start using a professional summary. You can Google a sample and, adjust it that way. I do also have my resume template, of course, but you can definitely do it yourself for free. Here's the third thing, and I think one of the most important things that you may be missing the mark on, is you're not looking at the job description and going to the preferred qualifications section of that job description, if it has one, and then pulling that information out on the top of your resume, well, within the top third. So think about it like this: name, contact information, job title you're applying for, professional summary, and then the section I'm talking about now, which is your key qualifications. So when you're looking at that job ad, you're going to read the whole thing, of course. You're going to look for the section that says preferred qualifications. If you have any of those, if you meet any of those qualifications, call those out as key qualifications. It could be 2, it could be 3, but call them out, because if I'm a recruiter and I open your resume, remember, you only have 6 to 10 seconds to really capture my attention, and that's being generous with that 10 seconds. You really have 6. So when I open your resume, I don't know why I'm opening it like a book, but if I open your resume on my screen, I see that top third of your resume. I'm gonna skim through the rest of it if what I see at the top is good, but my eyes are going to the top third of that resume. I look at your name, I look at your key skills or your key qualifications, and then I may skim to see what companies you've worked for, what titles you've held. But you've got to capture my attention in that top third, and that key qualifications section is a key way to do that. So go to the preferred qualifications of the job ad, call it out if you meet any of those. Preferred qualifications, preferred candidate. You see where I'm going there? You see what we're doing? So another thing a lot of you are not doing, despite me telling y'all to do it a million times, is use a tool that will help you get through the applicant tracking system bots. Those systems are pretty straightforward. They skim for certain keywords, they skim for certain titles, they just skim, right? Before a person even lays eyes on it. As a matter of fact, 75% of applications are never even seen by a human. That's why sometimes when you apply, you get that immediate rejection. That's because your resume is not doing something that you need it to do. So use a tool to help you get through the job application process. The one I recommend, because this is the one I pay for and use, is Jobscan. I used it during my own job search. I applied to 2 positions. That is it. I was very strategic. I applied to 2 positions. And you know what happened? When I applied to the first one, they got back to me 3 business days later. You heard that right. 3 business days. Invited me to interview. The second one, well, I'll say pre-screen. The second one I applied to, they contacted me 8 minutes later. It's crazy, but it's because I do this in my sleep. I make sure that my resume is strategic, and I make sure that my resume captures the keywords it needs to have, and that I'm communicating and articulating my skills and experiences in a way that aligns for that role. So I'm not taking the same resume and just shooting it out to 50 different jobs back to back to back and hoping on a wing and a prayer. I take the time, I look at the resume, and it doesn't take me too long, but I look at the resume, I look at the job I'm applying for, and I only tweak a few things to have it align with the position I'm applying for. This is something you must do. A lot of you are not doing it. Do it and then use Jobscan before you apply. If you want to know more about Jobscan, I've done videos on it before, but I'll include the link to one of the videos I did about it in the description bar. So make sure you check that out. Jobscan is great. That's all I can tell you. It takes the guesswork out of things. And if you trust the process, it will help you land more interviews faster. I kid you not. I would not tell you about it if I don't use it myself or did not use it myself. And I always encourage my clients to use it. I'll be honest with you. Y'all don't always use it when I tell you about it, even though it's free. You can have a paid version like I do, but you can use it for free for up to 5 job scans each month, right? So I want you to consider it. The last thing a lot of you are not doing, or have not done, I should say, is take my 1-hour course. My course is called Win in 6 to 10, and it's called that because if you remember, I said you only have 6 to 10 seconds to impress a recruiter, and that's only if you get through the applicant tracking system and the bots don't send you that immediate rejection email, okay? So my course, Win in 6 to 10, I made it after me sitting around and giving everyone the same instructions time and time and time again. I was like, okay, this is a huge portion of my time. I could just package this up, record this, and show you all, clean it up, make it make sense, make it easy and straightforward. So that's exactly what I've done. The course is called Win in 6 to 10, Write a Better Resume, okay? It's only 1 hour long. It's a great course. I may be biased because it's mine, but I'm telling you, it's a great. All right, my camera decided to be disrespectful and the battery died, but we're back. But as I was saying, my course is great. It's super straightforward. It's 6 or 7 modules, but I literally walk you through my exact framework for constructing your resume. I actually provide you with my template for the resume and my cover letter template, and you get a copy of my LinkedIn and resume guide so that you can build out your profile if you need help with that, or update your profile. So literally, it's my brain on screen. I'm walking you through, I am talking you through how to do everything and showing you my exact method for updating your resume, as well as showing you how to leverage technology to land more interviews faster. So I highly suggest you go there. And probably the last thing, oh, well, first of all, I'll put the link for that in the description bar as well so you can check it out. There will also probably be a discount code there. Came back from vacation, was in a real good mood, and so I've taken off a major percentage of the course, right? It's not expensive, but it's very, very pocket friendly. Let me put it that way. But yeah, so those things I think make a huge difference, and a lot of you are not doing them or have not done them. So I'm here to remind you to do those things again, because if you've been applying to job after job after job after job and you've been getting crickets and more crickets, it's time to try something a little different. Like, you can take an hour sitting on the sofa watching TV. We spend more than an hour on social media. Why not take an hour to improve your outcomes in life? So that's that on that. If you have any questions for me, please let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if you've been doing any of these methods or you aren't doing these methods and why. Just let me know your thoughts. I like to engage with y'all down there. All right? So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.